You guys all know the saying, right? Money rules the world. But how much do we really understand it? This series explores the hidden history of money, from ancient barter systems to global financial empires, and how it all leads to one of the most disruptive innovations of our time, Bitcoin. Whether you're a curious beginner, a seasoned skeptic, we'll break down the past, decode the present, and help you make sense of the future of money. Now let's start at the very beginning. See, before Bitcoin, before credit cards, before even the first dollar bill, there was no money, just trade. A goat for a basket of grain, a few apples for a loaf of bread, and it worked, well, kind of. But see, there was a problem. If I had fish and you didn't want fish, well, no deal. This was the barter system, ancient and efficient and totally dependent on finding the perfect trade. So humans, well, they invented something better, something smaller, scarcer, and universal, something that could hold value even when no one needed your fish. And that was money. And that simple shift, well, it changed everything, and it leads us to where we are today. The early civilizations needed something reliable, a common item everyone agreed had value. And so they turned to commodity money, everyday goods that were widely accepted and hard to fake. In different regions, people used things like salt, cattle, spices, or grain. And these items had real utility, and that gave them their value. But as trade expanded, so did the need for something more durable and more efficient. Enter metallic money. Gold, silver, and copper. These metals were scarce, resistant to decay, and easy to divide. They didn't rot, spoil, or get eaten by animals, and that made them perfect for trade. By the 6th century BC, the Lydians in what is now modern-day Turkey minted the world's first standardized coins, stamped with the seal of the state. A coin wasn't just a metal, it represented trust in a shared system of value backed by the authority of a ruler or a nation. As trade opened up, people began to realize metallic money also had a problem. Metal is heavy. Carrying bags of gold wasn't ideal for long journeys or big transactions. So people came up with a solution: representation. In 7th century China, during the Tang Dynasty, merchants began using paper notes. These notes were backed by actual stores of metal or goods. By the 11th century, the Song Dynasty officially adopted paper money, which was centuries ahead of the West. Eventually, in medieval Europe, goldsmiths started issuing receipts to people who deposited their gold for safekeeping. Those receipts could be traded, and eventually, these receipts became banknotes. Instead of carrying gold, people carried a promise that the note could be redeemed for real value. This was the birth of modern banking. As economies grew, governments got involved. They began printing national currencies, each one theoretically backed by precious metal reserves. By the 19th century, most major economies adopted the gold standard. Here's how it worked. Each unit of currency, say a dollar or a pound, could be exchanged for a fixed amount of gold. This created a sense of stability and trust. Currency was tied to gold, governments couldn't just print more at will, or so people thought. But when World War I broke out, countries suspended the gold standard, printing money to fund their war efforts. After the war, they tried to return to it, but the damage had been done. Then came the Great Depression, and global confidence in the system collapsed. After the Great Depression came World War II, and then it had been 2 global wars and an economic meltdown. The world needed a reset. In July 1944, 44 allied nations gathered after World War II in a small town in New Hampshire called Bretton Woods. Their goal was bold: to rebuild the global economy and prevent future currency chaos. Under the Bretton Woods Agreement, countries would peg their currencies to the US dollar, and the US dollar would remain backed by gold at $35 an ounce. This made the dollar the anchor of the world's economy. America had the strongest economy and the largest gold reserves, The system was built on the trust of the dollar. After a short period of stability, another problem arose. As the world demanded more dollars, the US printed more money, but the gold backing it, well, it didn't grow. Other countries started to lose trust. They began asking the US to convert their dollars into gold. By the late 1960s, America was bleeding gold reserves. The system was under strain, and it couldn't last. Then, in 1971, President Richard Nixon made a decision that would change everything. He shut the gold window, ending the dollar's convertibility into gold and effectively killing the Bretton Woods system. The world had officially entered the era of fiat money. In the next episode, we'll explore what happened after the US left the gold standard and how this decision paved the way for the rise of debt, inflation, and Bitcoin.